Hello and welcome back, College Park 4th grade and beyond. Mr. Guyton here with another video for you. Now, I don't know if you're like me, these strange times, you're just trying to survive, just trying to adapt to new circumstances. I mean, did you ever think you'd be going to school at home? I mean, that's crazy, right? But like anything else, if we want to survive, we've got to adapt. That is, we need to change with our environment. Right? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some adaptations. Well, in school in the past, you might have learned about adaptations being something behavioral or physical that enables a plant or an animal to survive better in its habitat. Well, that's kind of lame, honestly. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw pictures of sharks. It's going to be sweet. But first, here's my just for today. Just for today, I'm going to share something special with you. Come on, let's get started. Okay, so here we are. We got everything we need. We got our goal just for today. I'll share something that's special to me. Well, drawing's special to me. Sharks are special to me. We'll set that off to the side for now, though. We got a couple sharp pencils, some really good erasers on there. I like erasers so much I got a second one here. May or may not use that one. Well, we only need one pencil for now, so everything else has got to go. We're actually going to draw two sharks today, one being very different than the other. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. Let's start out by just doing a little crummy looking arc here. You're going to see as we go on that like it's your first drawing or your first step in your drawing is not going to be like the best. Like you're going to use your eraser all the time, like so. You can think of it less as like getting it right the first time and think of it more as like you're sculpting clay or something like that. So there we go. We just really want a rough shape of our shark here. That's all we're looking for right now. I find, you know, when you're looking at things in nature, you're really not going to find a whole lot of like right angles and really clean lines and that kind of thing. So don't expect it in your drawing, or don't put it in your drawing if you want to look realistic. Today our sharks are going to kind of look realistic, but really we're just going to take like a very general approach. Like this isn't going to be a specific species of shark. All right, like that looks pretty good. As I'm drawing too, I'm going to be doing a little bit of rambling, so I apologize ahead of time. It's not what I normally do. I don't normally draw and talk. All right, we're going to draw his little back here. You see, he kind of has like a torpedo-shaped body almost like a banana even. Draw your banana. What'd you do today? We drew a banana shark. To my knowledge, there isn't such a thing as a banana shark. Maybe you will discover it one day. Could be cool. So sharks are one of my favorite animals for a bunch of different reasons, but one of them is just like their amazing adaptations. So it's easy for us to kind of get locked into all the things that we see or hear or smell or whatever because we're limited by our senses, right? But sharks have the senses that we have, those five senses that we always talk about. But they also have so many more. This is our dorsal fin right here, by the way. This is probably the most notable appendage they have, the notable body part they have. Right. So it's just kind of like a triangular shape. Tilts back just a little bit. In any event, they have these like crazy adaptations. So, as we all know, they have teeth. But did you know that most sharks, their teeth are not actually fixed in their jaw? You say, yeah, I know they go through thousands of teeth in a lifetime. Well, yeah, right. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literally their teeth wiggle in their jaw. Now, your teeth, if you take a hold of one of your teeth, it's fixed. It's like in the bone. It's in your jaw. Not these guys. These guys, they'll wiggle around. And if you think about it, that's a really cool adaptation because, well, we want to get a piece of food into a bite-sized morsel. Like we use a knife and a fork, right? Or we use our hands to break it if you really want to, right? But these guys don't have hands and they don't have knives and forks. And so if they want to tear their food into manageable chunks, well, having your teeth wiggle back and forth is a pretty cool way to do it, right? Anyway, little known fact about sharks. They also have this sense organ here that's concentrated in their nose here. They call it the rostrum. It's called the ampullae of Lorenzini. And what they are these tiny little holes, tiny little pores, and they're actually distributed throughout the entire body, but they're concentrated up here. And what that does is they can sense electromagnetic fields. In other words, they can sense electricity. And all their prey, they give off electrical signals, like their brain says an electrical signal to their heart, and that causes the heart to beat. And they can sense that. Not only that, but they can tell the difference between heartbeats of healthy fish and heartbeats of not so healthy fish. It's amazing. I mean, imagine having a sense like that. You could walk around and you like sense somebody's heartbeat and know what kind of mood they're in. Oh man, that'd probably help you out a lot, right? All right, so this is what we call the caudal fin. This is the back fin. This is where they're going to get all their speed and drive from, these caudal fins. They're made up of two lobes, kind of like how your ears have lobes. So this guy's got a lower lobe and an upper lobe, and depending on the type of shark, sometimes they're exactly the same or close to it, and sometimes the top lobe's much bigger. Like a thresher shark is a type of shark. It's like an open ocean shark that has this really long top lobe to their caudal fin. It's huge. Scientists don't even know exactly what they use it for. They have a bunch of theories, but I don't think they really know, or at least I've never read about it. Anything definitive, anything for sure. All right, so there we go. There's our caudal fin. So we got our caudal fin, our dorsal fin. Now we're going to work on the ones that are right here in their chest. We call them their pectoral fins or pec fins, right? Pectoral fins. We have muscles in our pecs, in our chest, right? These guys have pectoral fins. So there's one. Again, kind of a triangular shape, a little bit elongated, a little bit longer than the dorsal fin, right? A little bit different shape, from here to here. Okay, just something like that. Again, going back and forth to your eraser. If you're not using your eraser, make sure you use that eraser a ton. Okay. And that looks pretty good, but I think we want to create a little bit of depth. We want to make it seem like he's actually, not just on paper, not just a drawing, but kind of has a little bit of shape to him. So I'm going to draw another pectoral fin on the other side, kind of hidden behind his body partially, right? Okay. I'm also, as I'm looking at this too, I want to add in another bit of what we call anthropomorphism. We're going to make him like a person and give him a little tongue. Anthropomorphism is just a fancy word for something that most of us do, right? So if you have a dog and you've named your dog, that's an example of anthropomorphism. You're assigning human qualities to an animal, right? You're humanizing them. You're personifying them, right? But the reality is a dog, and a person is a person. A shark is a shark, right? So that doesn't make them, necessarily worse or something or whatever. It just is what it is. They have different senses. They don't think quite like us. They don't have emotions quite like us. I mean, they might be like us, but they are not exactly the same, right? Anthropomorphism. I'm going to fix his little tongue there, his person-like tongue. Sharks obviously don't have tongues like this here. But it's just fun. Right? Make it fun. There you go. He's got a little shark tongue. They also have this cool thing called a lateral line, which they can sense vibrations in the water. These are really cool. Most fish have these. And the next time you're at the aquarium, go ahead and take a look at the side of a fish. They'll have this long line running the entire side of their body, hence the name lateral line. Lateral means side, right? So whoever came up with that name, not the most creative, but, still cool. In any event, they can sense vibrations in the water. So, like, if you've ever tried to reach into some water to catch a fish with your bare hands, you probably found out that it didn't go so well, right? That's because that fish likely felt your vibrations before you even got anywhere near it. So as soon as you broke the surface of the water, it knew you were reaching for it, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. It's another cool one. You can, like, sense somebody's vibrations from across the room. It's really cool. All right, let's keep rolling here. There you go, looks pretty good. All right. Oh, they also have these secondary fins. So we have these right here. This is called a secondary dorsal fin, or second dorsal fin, sometimes people call it. And then they have other fins down here, which I'm not going to name because it'll make people giggle. So we'll just give them like that. All right. Then for our next drawing, we're going to give him a buddy, right? I'm going to give a buddy. He's going to be down over here. It's going to be a hammerhead. This guy has this really recognizable feature. We call it a cephalofoil. His adaptation is called a cephalofoil, one of his many adaptations, actually. And it's basically, when we draw it, I draw it like a cylinder, like almost like a 3D cylinder or something. That's how I started out. It's this big head. It literally means like head, wing, cephalofoil. Head, wing, or head, fin, I guess. In any case, he has the same sense organs as ampullae of Lorenzini that this guy has concentrated in his snout. He has them all over his snout too, and he swims right along the bottom of the water. And anything that's, he just kind of swings his head back and forth, sensing, almost like a metal detector. Except what he's sensing for is the electromagnetic field from a fish that's buried in the sand, right? A skate, a ray, a flounder perhaps, whatever it is. Sometimes even shellfish. Crabs, whatever. But he senses those things. It's pretty crazy. They're buried in the sand, and then he knows he's got a little meal buried under there. Kind of shape his head a little bit, just like this. One of the things I haven't talked about yet, too, is sharks. One of their adaptations has to do with their hearing, right? So most sharks don't have external ears like we do, where you can see the ears on the side of their head, but they have them. And not only that, but they have them they're really good, right? Another anthropomorphism there. I'm giving him a smile. So there was a study that I read about that was done years ago, I think, where they were studying this type of shark that we have here in North Carolina called a lemon shark. And what they did was they took the sounds that a struggling grouper would make. Think about that, the sounds they would make, right? Not necessarily the motion. In fact, it wasn't the motion. It was just a speaker playing these low-frequency sounds. And they put it in the water, and they had one that mimicked the healthy grouper and one that was the struggling grouper, the fish. And they found that lemon sharks, from a distance of 800 meters, could tell the difference. That's insane. Insane. Think about that. Underwater, hearing someone's heartbeat from 800 meters away. That's unreal. Whew. Well, there's his dorsal fin there. We're going to give him a little pec fin too. Just real quick sketches of this. I'm going to try to pick up the pace a little bit. I realize I'm talking and drawing a lot. Hopefully you're having a good time though. And obviously if you don't want to be watching, you can always turn it off, put something else on. Cat playing a keyboard or something, or someone falling on a trampoline, whatever it is you're looking for. If that's your thing. Alright, there's my... Just going to give them a little bit more definition there. These guys, the shape, they're just really cool shaped animals. Okay, now we're going to do something different with him. I don't want to have him be like exactly the same like position as the other guy. So what we're going to do with him is he's actually going to have his caudal fin, his back fin, is going to kind of like sweep around like this, like he's flaring it out. He's excited to have a tail. I don't know about you, but if I had a tail to swim underwater, I'd probably be pretty excited too and be using it all the time. All right, I'm going to shape that out there. Okay. Just like that. And it's probably late to say this, but don't get so concerned if you're not, keeping up, if you want to call it that, if I'm going too fast or something like that. Because it's really not a race. And what I'm doing is just kind of, it's not exactly what you should be doing anyway. You know what I mean? You kind of do your own thing. Just the techniques are really what I'm just trying to convey here, what I'm trying to teach you. Is that you can do many different tries, use that eraser a lot, shape things out, just have a good time. Once notice nothing so far have I been like, oh no, this is a disaster, I quit. Right? I haven't crumpled up my paper once. Just not that serious, right? This is just supposed to be for fun. Hopefully you're feeling pretty relaxed too, right? Okay, so his fin's going to be coming around like this, and this is kind of a cool trick, right? So as his fin's coming around, we're going to give the illusion that it actually is like doubled over on itself, right? So I did that kind of fast, but you just kind of pull it down like a teardrop almost, right? And then right there where it started to fold, we're going to bring the line out like this. Okay, hopefully you saw that, how I was doing that. Right, so now it gives the illusion that it's like kind of folded over on itself, right? And then we're going to draw the bottom lobe. So a hammerhead shark whether it be a great hammerhead, which is what this guy kind of looks like, or a bonnet head, or whatever the species of hammerhead is, they tend to have a bigger upper lobe versus if you have a shark like a mako or something like that, they tend to have the top and the bottom lobes are like about the same size. And that just has to do with like the kind of swimming they're doing. These guys are more like patrolling. They just want to kind of swim along, patrol in the bottom like I was mentioning. Makos, on the other hand, are like, they're built for speed. So they need to have a really powerful kick when they want to go chase after something. There's this little, you remember what that's called? A little cephalofoil. Can impress people with that, or they'll just think you're really nerdy, but it's okay. I'm a super big nerd myself. Don't really know any other way. All right. I'm going to come through here and kind of clean this up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to make him with his little squinty eye there too. He's so happy. Maybe these guys are like in love or something. I don't know. Maybe this little girl hammerhead and a boy mako or whatever that guy's going to be. They're in love. Oh, there we go. Even my hearts, I shaped them like that. You see that? And you know what? Just so that we can remember about some of these adaptations these guys have, we'll put a couple of like lightning bolts here. Because remember, they have the ampullae of Lorenzini, those little dots that are in here, little pores, and they can sense those electromagnetic fields, the electricity coming off of the other animals. I used to always have such a hard time drawing lightning bolts, and the way that I do it now is I just draw like this little zigzag, and then I come through like this, and I join that one, I join that one, and I join that one. That's how I do them now. I don't know if you're like me and you had trouble with that. So like that, like that, and like that. Nothing perfect. Doesn't have to be, right? There you go. A little lightning bolt over here for you. And, oh, he needs his gills, right? How many gills are we going to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So most sharks have those 5 gills, with the exception of the 6 gill and the 7 gill, of course. Oh man, I think those look pretty good. Pretty good right there. Okay, throw a little lateral line in there for that guy. Okay, looking good. Well, that was a lot of fun. Hopefully you had a good time too. I love drawing, especially sharks. And now that you know how to draw a shark, you don't just have to draw them on a piece of paper with a pencil. You can draw them anywhere, like on the sand at the beach, or on top of a birthday cake, or on a piece of paper with a pencil. No matter where you draw your sharks, just remember, be patient with yourself and take your time. And if you mess up, just go back and make some changes. Adapt. For all the 4th grade teachers at College Park, I'm Mr. Guyton. See ya.